Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Tonight, very excited, we're going to be visiting with my friend Carolina. So she's the owner of Mint Event Design. We're going to be talking about being a gracious hostess, how it ties to your faith, and how you cannot be so intimidated. So I'm so excited that she is going to be on here tonight. So it always takes a second. There she is. Hey Carolina.
Hi, hi everyone. How are you? How's everybody doing?
They're so cute. They're all like jumping on. I was like, I've known Carolina forever.
I know it seems like yesterday, right? Like just
I
yesterday.
think that I think that Juan Pablo, who's her is Juan Pablo, is he like seventh grade? Can you hear me, Carolina?
I can hear you now. I don't
There you are.
know.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened there. Okay, there we go. It's weird. It's okay.
technology.
Yes. No, but your baby was in a stroller and now that baby's like in middle school now, I think. So
He's a freshman.
he's a
Oh,
freshman.
yes, my baby.
Oh my, your baby is a freshman. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So the thing that I love about you is that like I didn't know that this little part of your life existed. Like we were carpooling moms, like taking kids to kindergarten. And then I think one day you said something about you had this party planning business and I was like, wait, hold up, because I love having events. I love having people over for dinner. I love throwing parties. And I was like, how did I not know this thing about Carolina? So maybe tell people how you got involved in event planning and why you decided to start this company, which I love, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so the real story here behind is that I found this passion by being a teacher, a preschool teacher. So I didn't know I had this in my life until I was 38, 39 years old back in the day. And back in the day, I was a preschool teacher. I had the 4-year-olds. I used to also be like in Mother's Day out with kiddos, babies, 2-year-olds, potty training, all that stuff. And I started having this passion about having a wonderful environment for the kiddos to be at
Mhm.
school. So I started decorating my bulletin boards and all that. And, you know, the gifts for moms on Mother's Day had to be like super special and very crafty and all that. And that started that part of me, to the point where my moms were like, have you ever done like parties or events? So they started bringing that seeds into my head. Um, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, like why not help moms, busy moms or moms that are, can for some reason need some help. And I was like, okay, let's start this. And so I jumped 5 years ago, more or less.
Well, I love how you got affirmation from other people in your life. I mean, I think that's a good reminder for us is when we see other people who exhibit a talent or a charism or a gift, like we should affirm them because it could open like a whole new door for them. Like you may not have made that leap if all those people hadn't said, Carolina, you're really good at what you do. You should do this for a job. I
Yes.
remember one time I came up into your house. We were looking for something, and you had like this closet, and I felt like I had just opened the door to Disney. It was like every fun prop or anything. I was like, Carolina, this is like Disney. And you're like, I know, it's so great. But I wanted to tell people, I felt like this was a fun story to share with people. And then we're going to talk a little bit about hostessing because I know some people that really freaks them out. But one thing that you and I did about it's probably been about 6 years ago now. We had several families at our school who experienced tragedy. So several people passed away. And one of those families experienced the death of a mom. And the little boy's birthday was 2 months after she passed away.
Mhm.
And the mom and me could not allow this birthday to go by and us not do anything.
Mhm.
But I wanted it to be big. So I called in every favor, and you and I totally conspired. And we put that, it was a Star Wars party. It was right around the time that Star Wars was coming out. But, and none of these people that pitched in knew anything, like they didn't know this family. And you totally nailed it. Everyone was like, who did this? And I said, well, her name's Carolina and she's amazing. So maybe tell people what some of the things were that we did, I guess to make it, I talk a lot about love is in the details. So maybe share some of the things that we did to make him feel so loved.
Yeah. Well, I think that first of all, it was a surprise party at the park.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when he was picked up from school, he was just gonna kind of go shut up, and the surprise party, at the park with Star Wars. I mean, that was just like the welcome kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I assume he didn't have the opportunity to stay, but just the preparation to it, it was just like my heart was like full,
Mm.
knowing this kiddo, what he was being going through at that time, and the love that we saw in the community, setting all that. I just, everybody did this part, but my part was setting up
Yeah.
the dessert table. And oh my gosh, like I needed to figure it out how to do the Star Wars font. And, I was kind of starting, with my Cricut, and, so I think we nailed it very good. And he loved
We
it.
took, I will dig out some pictures, and after we do this live, I'll share them in stories because it was pretty epic. But only because there were probably 24 people that pitched in. So it wasn't just the two of us, but we started it, and then like it just the Holy Spirit took over, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But the reason that I shared that is because sometimes people think that you have to have an event like that, or you have to do something big like that in order for people to feel loved.
Hmm.
And I know that you do a wonderful job of showing people like it's just the little things that you do that have a really big impact. So, like, what are some suggestions that you might have for some people that are like, okay, having someone over for dinner or even hosting an event at my house, whether it be a birthday party or something like that, feels super intimidating? What would be your best suggestion to them to kind of overcome that intimidation?
Oh my goodness, that is a very hard question. But I want to say that you need to focus first on the purpose of your gathering. Because,
Good.
like if you know that, you want to bring people together for a reason, to celebrate a birthday or an anniversary or whatever, you got to first think about how, why are you bringing them together? What is the purpose of it? And continue to bring that, like, I want smiles. So that will allow you to do not think about the stress that you might think that's behind it, and just kind of feel like my goal is to bring my family together after these certain times or whatever, or the kids' best friends together because they haven't been at school, or, things like that. So just focus on the result, like, what it's after, what's going to happen after all this, comes done.
Yes.
And I would say that will help you, like, okay, I got this. I have a goal of making people happy, at my house, and we're going to do it. We're going to
And I
make it
always say
happen.
the sign of a good party is if the dessert table, like the area where you put all the food, if it's completely demolished, that's the sign of a good party, that
Oh, yeah.
all the details that you put in are completely gone because everyone had such a good time. I mean, I think maybe we've gotten ourselves worked up because in an age before Pinterest, we had parties or we had people over to our house and we weren't really thinking like, am I going to take a picture of this for Instagram? Am I going to share this on social media? Am I going to put this on Pinterest? How many people are going to tag this? And now I think there's this pressure behind people's
Hmm.
heads thinking, if I don't make this Pinterest worthy, then it can't possibly be a good event. Like if it doesn't look perfectly, manicured in this particular sense, then it can't be successful. And I
No,
mean, I think you would disagree with me there. I mean, I think you'd agree. Yeah.
totally. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that we need a complete, beautiful Pinterest worthy party to be happy and celebrate stuff. There is
Yeah.
so many ways that you can do it at home with things that you have handy, things that, you can just even imagine that you were going to be using. And,
So what are some of those things, Carolina, that you think that people might have on hand that you would say you should use this way, or if you don't have one of these, get one of this, and it'll be super versatile?
oh gosh,
What?
white, like get yourselves a good set of white plates, serving dishes, cake stand and stuff. The more plain you find it, the better, because that way it allows you to bring any type of theme to it, instead of trying to accommodate those cake stands from grandma to a modern party kind of thing. So yeah, I have some clients that is like, okay, you can use all my stuff, right? And they start to go to the pantry and they bring all their serving dishes. Oh my gosh, not single one matches at all, which is okay, but she's
Sure.
she's expecting to have something different. I'm saying these are my clients, right? These are people that are hiring me to do it because for some reason they can't. But if you're at home and that's fine, but you really want to have like a 4 feet table party, table, I mean, you can just get easy stuff at Target that it's all white, pretty inexpensive, and you can handmade a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
bring in
Well,
the family.
and now there's tons of stuff on Pinterest that didn't exist before, like free printables that you can just like search, whatever theme, or like Easter or whatever that you can print out and have at your house, and you don't have to have a fan. I mean, we have a Cricut too. It's only because of you, because my daughter was like, how does she do that? And I was like, well, maybe Santa Claus might bring that to you. So we've enjoyed having a little bit of that fun. But I mean, there's definitely so many resources out there that don't require you to spend a lot of money,
Yes.
and that allow you to maybe think creatively, like, how can I bring love into this place?
Exactly. And one of the things that I usually do, Kathryn, is like I like to visit Pinterest, but at some point I stop watching. And then it's just like you start the engine, you let it go, and then you just start creating what it was like on your mind, but you start creating your own thing instead of copying someone else's work. So don't just go there, be inspired, and then just leave and do your own thing, right? Like do your own
So
thing.
that's actually great advice, because I think we think that we have to go down like the rabbit hole and that's the only way. And sometimes it'll be my kids and they'll say, well, why don't we do this? And I'll think, oh, like I think one time we made it was a Thanksgiving centerpiece, because I needed the kids to like be out of my hair. So they went outside and gathered some sticks, and then they cut construction paper and they wrote the letters, Thanksgiving, TH, and we stuck them in jars. And I was like, oh, I think I have some beans. And we like threw some beans, and it was the cutest centerpiece, and it cost us no dollars. It was $0. It kept the kids busy, and we've kept that ratty old centerpiece for like, I think the last 8 years I've had it, and we've used it. But what's been your most favorite theme, or like your most favorite thing that you prepared for? I know like we do a lot of sacramental celebrations, like confirmation and first communion, but I'm curious, like what your most favorite one has been to put together.
Oh gosh, I love Christmas time. Christmas time is my to go all the way. Yeah, I start December 12th. That's when we celebrate our Guadalupe, our Virgin,
Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Lady Guadalupe, and then all the way to January 6th with its, the wise men coming. As a Mexican,
Oh yeah, Epiphany.
We celebrate all month. It's beautiful. I really love it, and I think the purpose of having that coziness or that gathering, it feels in the environment, it feels in the city, it feels everywhere. So to me, there's no other celebration, that makes me feel that way. Of course, Easter, it's one that I love too, but I guess Christmas is because sometimes we transform our homes with all the Christmas stuff on it.
For sure.
So that's beautiful.
So do you think, Carolina, like your culture influences, like combining culture and faith, like do you think that influences how you view parties, or how you view particularly events like Christmas? Like when you talk about, I love that you talked about Christmas, but that you framed it between Our Lady Guadalupe and the Epiphany is really beautiful, actually. Like, how do you think that influences how you approach things like that?
Oh, I mean, it totally like it's in my blood, I want to say. Events in Mexico, it's not about how it looks, it's about the happiness that you make out of those things together. And I feel sometimes that that's what I try to bring into my parties, into my clients, that relationship between my client and myself. It's more of like friendship rather than they're hiring someone with a contract and all these stipulations and stuff like that. So, and I think my clients love that feeling of that warmth that somehow, Latin people have. I'm not saying Americans do not have it or some other cultures, but I'm saying that we just have the fiesta, that.
You do. You totally do. No,
that hugging
think
stuff and yeah.
No, I think you bring up an important, and I mean, it came across when you were like, don't forget what's your purpose for the event. But I don't know. I love, Carolina, how you like you really do find a way to connect with the people. I mean, I know that you work with professionally, but you've always done that. You've always been a connector of people,
Hmm.
and that joy totally. I mean, like that, just like you are the happiest I've ever seen you when you're putting something together because you know that the end result isn't the photos that are going to be taken of all the details, but of how people are going to feel
Yes,
when they're there.
yes.
And that's not everybody's MO. Like that's not every event planner's MO, but it's yours. And I love it. I think it's such a gift. So I'm continuing to affirm you because I love watching what you do. It's so inspirational. I think as we just invite people into our homes, I think to the imperfectness of our homes. So who would be your favorite dinner guest? Like if you could choose anybody as a dinner guest, who would that be?
Oh my God. Someone that made me laugh. I don't know. I don't have a name, but I love people that they just like come up with just the craziest things ever, and we just laugh all night. That's like my perfect dinner, I want to say. Just makes you relaxed and just laugh and have fun,
Yeah.
enjoying. I certainly think that there are different types of gatherings that you might have. Let's say you want to bring, your best friends to talk about life, you know. Most likely you're going to be on your living room, sitting on the floor, rather than in the
Right.
formal dining table. So it depends on what the feeling you're going for, to have that type of events. That's where you kind of choose where to set up at home, but also the perfect person that comes into it. Because if you really want to talk with friends, you really want, if you need a laugh, the best one will be someone that makes you laugh. But if you need to talk to someone and kind of just have some wine and cheese and cry, or, just that
Mhm.
moment, you probably want to have that, your honest friend next to you to be as a guest. So
Yes. Yes,
depends
you
on
do.
what you
I
want.
would, I would, I would agree with that. That's a great answer to that. So, like, as we've sort of transitioned, I mean, it was today, I think March the 11th, a year ago today was when it all shut down, and
Oh
then we
my God.
got real familiar. I know, isn't that weird?
Very
We get
weird.
really familiar with this digital space that we're in. So, if someone is trying to figure out like, how do I make something meaningful, but we have to do it in a virtual sense. So maybe like we're having a birthday party or we're having a family gathering for a holiday. We'll use Easter as an example since Easter's coming up. I mean, there are still people in parts of the country that cannot get together physically. So, how do you do something like virtually and still allow that end result of joy, but
Hmm.
also maybe prepare your house for something like what would be your suggestions to families that might have to celebrate Easter in a digital space instead of a real life space?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard, I believe.
Yeah.
I always like to start everything with a surprise, right? So in
That's
this
good.
case, I would, like, if your family's in town and you can't for some reason be together, maybe deliver something that will be open at the time when you guys meet at the table.
Very sweet.
If you're sending something, a card or something on the mail that not necessarily, needs to be food, or, or a cupcake, or, whatever you're sending. Maybe that card will be open once you're at the table all together. Try to bring that surprise factor to, not expecting something on the mail for Easter or for whatever holiday you guys are doing, and kind of just bring that all together on the Zoom, or FaceTime or whatever you guys are doing, and just bring your attitude, right? Like bring that, even though we're on this type of, seeing each other, bring that
Yeah.
energy with you, bring God to you, bring a laugh, and just forget about, we're not, it's hard, but you can do it. We had a Zoom call, a Zoom party. Everybody was dancing at the Zoom, at their houses. Everybody was dancing. It was incredible. It was last
How
weekend,
fun.
and oh my gosh, we delivered like neon glasses and uh, glow in the dark sticks and champagne and
How
stuff like that
fun.
around town. So I mean, I was impressed of seeing the screen lights off, everybody were wearing their glasses and dancing alone
That
at
is
home.
so
But they were doing
fun.
it. They were doing it. I was just like, they love the surprise party, the surprise little things that they got on the mail. So, try to do something like that. I want to say, like a nice card if your parents or something, if they're out of town, if they're here, I don't know, maybe do a backyard party and try to, still
Yes.
get that 6 feet away.
I'm wondering how I can get an invitation to that next neon dance party because that
I,
sounds like fun.
oh my gosh, I was like doubting, like, are they gonna really be dancing alone? And oh, I had the opportunity to see, the screen on the.
I bet the screen looked crazy.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll share some of my
Oh my
stories
gosh.
to
Yes, I
people to
totally want to see
see.
that.
Yeah.
But that reminded me, I think it was at the very beginning of the pandemic. So normally we have priests who come over for dinner once a month. We
Hmm.
invite a different priest over. I want my kids to see that that's a viable option
Yes,
and
absolutely.
also that they're real people.
Hmm.
And so, but then COVID happened and we couldn't have people over to our house. So we ended up like FaceTiming. And so we would like set up the phone in the corner and we would FaceTime with the priest and we would eat dinner at the same time. But then I started sending the priest cookies. So I was like, so when we eat, because some of them either lived in community or, they lived in a rectory with another priest. So they had like their own dinner. And they were far away, so I couldn't send them dinner. But I was like, but I can send you cookies. So like when it came time for dessert, then we were eating the same cookies, and it was a really fun. Like, it wasn't the same, obviously, as having them in our home, but it definitely. I hadn't even thought about the surprise part. That just the Southerner me is like, I have to send them something. I mean, I can't just not send them anything. But I
I
love
know.
how you remind us to have fun with that. Um,
Yeah,
oh, that's so good. Okay, so
absolutely.
what are your plans for Easter? What are you guys going to do? Like, what's your best suggestion for people?
Oh my goodness.
What's your favorite part of doing that meal or having that?
Well, it's first of all go to mass. I mean, I totally love being there and just kind of
Amen.
see everything, everything with flowers and just reminding us about after, you know, all the pain, there's always the light of him, in our lives
Yes.
and everyone. So I love that. And our kids love it too. We always like to get early because then you don't find a chair
Seat.
or yes, but who knows with nowadays with COVID. But we like to be there early, definitely. And after that, I like to host my family here at my house. We usually don't go to the restaurants because, and it's not for COVID, it's just because
Sure.
we always like to have it here at home. So I set up, the best I can. Last year I did, and I think you shared a little bunny ears that I did with the napkins.
Yes.
Was so cute, so easy, guys. Like you don't have anything, you don't have to do anything, just a nod, pretty much. And yeah, just some greenery that I caught, from my backyard, and then I just grab, like the eggs, the plastic eggs and stuff. I put it in there, and we like to pray a lot, before that, but mostly we like to um, each one of us would like to take turns and kind of share an experience where they felt that they were somehow struggling, but at the
Mm,
end it turned out great, like reminding each
that's
one
beautiful.
of us that we all have hard days and hard projects, school, personal stuff, but when they see the light after, right, like resurrection, like Easter, like when you see that
That's beautiful.
wonderful, so I want them to share that, my teenagers. I want them to be aware of, there's always something good after the hustle or after some sort of pain or difficulty, and I want them to share that with us on the table. So it's not all only the bunny and the eggs. It's it's just remind them about it. So
That's beautiful, Carolina. We do best and worst at our
mhm,
dinner table on a regular basis. The kids say like what
mhm,
the best part of their day was, what the worst
mhm.
part. But I had never thought about reframing that for Easter and having people reflect. And certainly as the kids get older, they're able to do that. We may have to, can I steal your idea? Can we do that
I love
at
it.
our house?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Imitation is the
Mhm,
highest form of flattery. So,
mhm.
all right. So, what question did I not ask that you want people to know about either hosting an event or being a gracious hostess?
Oh my goodness. I need water, I guess. Gosh, I
It's
don't
okay.
know. I can say a million things, to be honest. I can say a million things about hosting. Um, one of, I don't know, when I was reading it through some of the questions, I was like, I wish people really focus on the meaningful part of reunion, right? About having people over. Because if you are going as a host, you're going to be stressed out about it. It's not worth it. You gotta like let go, because the purpose is not for you to be stressed out and having everything perfect and such and such. It's about you enjoying part of it. So either you hire me, just kidding, or
No,
just
but not kidding, because she's amazing.
or plan yourself, right? Like plan yourself ahead and just like set your expectations. Like don't try to say, oh, I'm gonna do all this, and then you feel bad with yourself that you couldn't make it, or the DIY didn't work well, or so I totally don't want people to do that, because it's not the purpose of it. And always
Yeah.
smile, and it is what it is, and just you know let it go. Let it go and enjoy.
Let it
I
go.
want
I
to
know.
say, yeah, let it go and
No,
enjoy. Yeah.
that is really good advice. You should enjoy your own parties, or you should enjoy your own events, or when people come over, you should not be worrying about, are the toilets clean enough, or did I mop? Like, real life people are in your house, and they're there not because your house looks amazing, but they're there because they love you. And obviously, whatever event it is that you're celebrating, they want to be a part of that. So that's a good reminder, I think, for all of us. I mean, I think our innate desire is that we want things to be, we want the physical spaces in our house to reflect the intentions of our heart. And sometimes when the physical spaces don't match the intentions of our heart, we feel like we did it wrong, or we feel like a
Mhm.
failure. But that's a reminder that it really is matter. It does matter the way that we intend. It's not so much the
Mhm.
delivery, but how open are you being and allowing people to be in your space? So,
Exactly, because you
Carolina, you're the
you
best.
transmit that, like you transmit that, sooner or later you'll show that, stress or something. So just relax, relax and enjoy. That's the main thing to all of it.
This is coming
Yeah.
from two people who love to plan events, so definitely. I laughed because I was like, I could have just driven to your house and we could have just done this together. We live like 7 minutes away from each other. It looks like we live a long way away from each other, but if
Yeah.
you do live in Austin, you should totally call Carolina. You should absolutely be following her on social media. She has so many great ideas. But Carolina, I think the thing that I admire most about you is that you don't shy away from sharing your faith. Um, in your business, because it would be easy to do that, but you don't, you tie them together really beautifully. So thank you for your witness in that
Yes, and I
space
and
so
I'm
that
and
people
I'm
can see
gonna
it.
I need to share something. I really feel, to be honest, that my angel loves Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and all those stores. Like seriously, it makes me look to places that I to shelves under to find stuff. I mean, sometimes I just like, okay, Holy Spirit, just guide me, because I don't know what I'm doing with this party. And all of a sudden, it's like every party is a miracle. And I truly believe that He enjoys with me selecting stuff for my clients. Like I pray that every single thing that I do for them reflects what they want to reflect about themselves, and sometimes it's really like interesting to kind of just feel that it's weird, but you feel the Holy Spirit guiding you through Michael's. Like, what am I gonna buy? Like, what am I gonna buy? For this client.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then you hear your client saying, "Oh my gosh, that was the perfect thing. Like, I was looking for that specific thing," and you're like, "Oh, thank you, thank you."
But I
Um,
think the
so
Holy Spirit delights in seeing us bring joy, because our joy doesn't come from just us, it comes from a desire of knowing Jesus. And so when we exhibit that joy, people see Jesus in us. So I see Jesus in you in so many ways that you do that. But thank you for being unafraid, for sharing that part of your life, because it's all interconnected and you don't try to separate it out. And I'm grateful for that. So I love you, Carolina,
yeah.
and I'm so
Oh,
excited for when I can like give you a big hug again, which is happening soon. So,
yeah.
but thank you
Uh,
for spending
yeah.
a little bit of time on here with me.
Yeah, and I just want to say
It
one
was
last
great.
thing to all the people that are not in Austin. If you ever need any advice or any, just DM me. I don't charge. for giving you advices or anything. Just want you to be stress-free. And if I can help you somehow, DM me. I am all about helping people. So don't be afraid.
You are just the
Yes.
best. No, definitely get a hold of Carolina. Well, I will be on here next Thursday. So my guest is Carlos Whitaker. Next week, we're going to talk about dealing some hope and empathy. But Carolina, you gave us a lot to think about how to be gracious hostesses. So thank you for your heart and what you share on social media. It's a gift. So thank you.
Oh, no. Thank you guys for having me. And God bless all and happy Easter to everybody.
Yes, almost. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Almost.
Bye, Carolina.
Talk to you soon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.